I'm leaving Denver. This is the story. I'm leaving Denver. And then I cross the border into Utah. And I can tell I'm at my lower eighth on the gas tank, and I'm like, damn, maybe I should turn back. And then I consult the GPS, which says the next station is 40 miles away. And so, of course, I went for it. But I was rolling into this gas station, gas low, light being on, and I was like, damn, it would absolutely suck to be stuck out here. It would take forever for AAA to get here. I'd be totally late to checking into my hotel, so I'm very glad that didn't happen. But I'm gonna take a seat here on this rock, and we're gonna get into some deeper life stuff, because I just want to talk about putting things into perspective. So the last probably 2 years of my life, I would say that I've been feeling, and the key word here is feeling bitter, broke, and underrated. And so we'll start with the broke part. If you were here in the last vlog, you know I went to Japan after living in New York, and I came back to Massachusetts completely broke. Like, no cell phone broke. Like, last few $100s in life. And I just kind of rose back up from the ashes. Luckily, my mom loves me and just took me back in, and I lived in Springfield, Massachusetts, and started doing yard work for people in the summer of 2018 as like someone in their mid-20s, which was great, fun, and just doing like odd little summer jobs for like family friends, my mom's friends, stuff like that. And from there, I started working at the casino in Springfield, and that was a very mixed bag because it was super underpaid, and something where, you know, it was a corporate job, but there was a lot of people were put into a lot of situations, and a lot of people got fired. I'm not really trying to get into that piece of it. But on the other side of it, I'm a college graduate, and I have all these other friends who graduated college. And guess what? They weren't making like less than $20 an hour. These people are making like 70, 80,000 out the gate right out of college. So, well, let's say 60, 70, 80,000. And so obviously this feeling of like jealousy just starts to creep in, but then it really gets exacerbated over the longer periods of time, because you know, as somebody in my mid to late 20s now, all of my friends are looking how to spend their money, and I'm looking how to get more money. You know, I would say the majority of my friends from college are all kind of working on, or all, how do I put it? They're all in a six-figure net worth, and they're all well within a six-figure net worth. And I'm in like a tenth of that. So that's a lot to grapple when you feel like you're falling behind your peers. That's a tough one. And then we go to the bitter part, right? I was living in New York, and so I've seen a lot of artists come from not being very popular to being very popular. And so as somebody who has been aspiring to work in the music industry for about probably 4 years now. Yeah, right out of college, I started connecting with what was the original Dub C and kind of working towards being in the music industry. And what happens is you see things work out for other people and other teams, other artists and their teams, and you say, well, why did that not happen for my group? Like, what is wrong? And you know, that really turns you bitter. And then the last part is underrated, which ties into it really closely, which is, I have been putting out a large volume of content very consistently for a very long time. And, people just hop on YouTube and have more subscribers than me in like months. So, that's just like, those are all things that have really been eating at me for the last 2 years. And I think something I want to say is that it's not about fixing all those things. I was talking to this girl that I went to high school with, and she said, "Oh, well, you should just be happy that you have a job." And so my gut reaction to that was like, screw a job. I don't care about a job. Everyone has a job. Like, I'm trying to ball. I see people out here, they're balling. I'm trying to ball. And I kind of had to let her comments marinate for me to be able to say, well, you know what? There is a lot to be thankful for. And so my ultimate conclusion is, these problems aren't solved by reaching your goals. These problems are solved by loving yourself more. These problems are solved by filling yourself with love and acceptance and telling yourself that you are enough. Something I've kind of noticed is that there's a lot of women that are insecure. And so modern women have a lot of options now when it comes to insecurity, and something that they do is get a lot of work done, as you know, as has pretty much been popularized by the Kardashians. And what I'm seeing is that these women that get a lot of work done, 3, 4, 5 procedures, it's like A, a bottomless pit, and B, doesn't really solve the insecurity issue. The issue is something that you need to solve within yourself. And so, if anyone else is struggling, I kind of just challenge you to do that. Try and solve the issue yourself, or just going out, getting help, and trying to find ways to get through it that way. Final note is definitely on self-love, because I've definitely been in situations where I'm feeling like, oh man, like, I hate my, like, this is a tough thing to talk about. I motivate through talking shit to myself. Like, you're not shit. You need to keep going, because you're not shit. You haven't done shit. You're not impressive at all. And like, that's very much been like the fire that gets me going and gets me like, traveling places. And after years and years, you break yourself down with that type of attitude, because it's negative. It puts a lot of negativity onto myself that I don't need. So once again, just the answer is loving yourself, accepting yourself, and being kind to yourself. I've been listening to the Conan O'Brien podcast on the road, and that's something he struggles with. And obviously, he's like among the most accomplished people in entertainment, still struggling with this idea of putting himself down. And so it really is a mental battle, and I'm working hard to be more kind to myself. That about wraps it up. Vegas, here I come. There's a cool little dog over here I kind of want to pet, but I'm also a little worried about doing that. So yeah, don't drive on an empty gas tank in Utah. There's nothing here. There was like 10 exits that said like no services, and I was like, what?